There is a person who has been thinking about something they have not yet done, specifically, not in the vague, hopeful, someday maybe way that people sometimes carry wishes about other people. In the vivid, recurring, this is a real thing I am actually thinking about way that belongs to someone who has imagined a specific moment so many times that the imagining has developed texture, detail, the specific quality of something that has been visited and revisited until it feels almost like a memory of something that has not happened yet. What they have been thinking about is the moment you kiss, or the moment they kiss you, or the specific charged, slightly breathless quality of the moment right before, when both of you would know what is about to happen and neither of you would be stopping it. I want to name this clearly before we go anywhere else, because I think this reading is asking for a different quality of attention than the readings that are primarily about emotional depth or professional recognition or the unspoken interior of a complicated dynamic. This reading is asking for the specific quality of attention that belongs to physical desire, to the particular kind of awareness that arrives when someone's attraction to you has reached the specific level of intensity where it has a distinct object and a distinct vision and a distinct impossibility of setting it down. This person wants to kiss you, and what they have discovered in the specific process of carrying that wanting around is that the wanting is producing in them something that is beginning to feel less like desire and more like need. The drug quality, the title, is pointing toward the specific quality of something that has gotten into the system deeply enough that ordinary thinking has started to reorganize itself around it. Let me show you what the cards confirmed. Let me describe what I felt the moment this energy opened, because the initial impressions were immediate and they had a quality that I want to share with full honesty before anything else. I felt heat, the specific, embodied, unmistakable quality of physical attraction in its most concentrated form, not the soft, warm quality of general affection or even of romantic feeling. The specific quality of desire that lives in the body rather than only in the mind, that announces itself in the specific way that physical longing does, which is immediately and viscerally rather than gradually. I also felt the specific quality of someone who is aware of their own desire in an almost uncomfortable way. Not uncomfortable in the sense of shame, uncomfortable in the sense of someone who is in the grip of something stronger than they anticipated, who expected a manageable level of wanting and discovered that what they are actually experiencing is considerably less manageable than expected. The specific, slightly off balance quality of someone who has been surprised by the intensity of their own response. The first card in this reading arrived in the position representing who this person is and what they are carrying in relation to you, and I want to describe it with the warmth and the specific quality of its imagery. This card shows a young figure holding a cup extended outward in the quality of someone who is moving toward the person they want to offer something to, with a specific quality of being almost overwhelmed by the fullness of what they are carrying. This is the feeling in its most direct, least managed, most genuinely itself form. The cup extended not carefully but generously, not with calculation but with the specific quality of someone who has arrived at the point where the feeling is simply too full to be carried in the private way any longer. What I am reading in this card about who this person is in relation to you is something I want to name with honesty. They are gone. That is the most accurate description I have for the specific quality of what this card is showing me when I look at how this person is experiencing their attraction to you. Not gone in the dramatic, everything has changed forever since, though there is some of that quality present. Gone in the specific, embodied sense of someone who has discovered that a particular person has produced in them the specific quality of feeling that takes up residence and does not move when asked, that has reorganized something in their experience of daily life in a way that is simply present now, regardless of what they do or don't do about it. I also want to speak to the youth energy of this card because in the context of this reading, it carries something specific. This is not a managed, processed, organized feeling. It is immediate, alive, the kind of feeling that arrives before the mind has had time to catch up and begin organizing it into something more structured and comfortable. The cup is full and the figure is moving toward you, and neither the fullness nor the movement has been particularly planned. I want to name something about the specific quality of the movement depicted in this card, because I think it carries information about what is about to happen. The figure is not standing still while holding the cup. They are moving. The motion is deliberate and directed. What I am sensing in the specific combination of the cup's fullness and the figure's forward movement is someone who has arrived at the point where the internal carrying of this is no longer sufficient and who is now, whether they have quite consciously framed it this way yet or not, moving in the direction of expressing it. The motion may still be internal, but the internal motion has the quality of the early stages of something that is going to become external, and external tends to happen sooner than later when the cup is as full as this card is depicting it. The second card arrived in the position representing the specific quality of your energy that has produced this particular response in this person. What it is about you that has gotten into their system in the specific drug-like way the reading's title describes. And this is the card I want to give the most specific attention to. This card shows a crowned figure at the absolute pinnacle of the water element's expression, completely self-possessed, carrying the full quality of someone who has arrived at the deepest possible version of what genuine emotional depth and genuine warmth and genuine inner life look like when they have fully matured. The complete form of the cup suit, the person who is so fully themselves, so genuinely and quietly and completely inhabited in their own interior world, that the quality of being in their presence feels like entering a different quality of atmosphere. This card describes you. In this specific context, what I am reading in this card about what has gotten into this person's system is something I want to name precisely. It is not your appearance specifically, though they find you attractive. It is not your personality specifically, though they like you. It is the combination, the specific quality that emerges when someone with your particular depth and your particular warmth and your particular quality of genuine, unhurried presence is encountered at close range. The quality of you that exists in the unguarded moments, in the specific way you inhabit the space you are in the particular quality of attention you bring to whatever you are attending to. That quality is what has produced the drug effect, because it is not something that can simply be gotten over. It has a specific felt, embodied quality that recurs in memory with the kind of vivid, immediate quality that only belongs to genuine encounter with something real rather than with something performed. When they think about you, which they do with a frequency that surprises even them, what they are thinking about is the specific, embodied, was really their quality of the actual experience of being in your proximity. Does this feel like it is landing on something real in your experience, Virgo? The specific sense of someone whose physical and personal attraction to you has crossed the threshold from manageable into the specific, slightly overwhelming quality this reading is describing. Let me know in the comments. The third card arrived in the position representing the specific moment or quality of interaction that tipped this person from ordinary attraction into the more consuming, drug-like quality of response the reading is describing. And I want to describe this carefully because the specific tipping point tells you something about the nature of what is being carried. This card shows a great trumpet announcement, the imagery of something that crossed into the interior of a person's experience with enough force to constitute a genuine, irreversible shift. This is the card of something that, once experienced, is not afterward experienced as having not happened. The permanent, indelible quality of a moment that changed the terms. What I am reading in this card about the tipping point is something I want to say with specificity. There was a specific moment, not a sustained period of accumulation, that eventually crossed a threshold. A specific, particular, this was the moment in which this person's experience of you shifted from being something they were managing to something that had gotten ahead of them. And the nature of that moment was specifically intimate. Not intimate in the specific physical sense, though physical proximity may have been part of it. Intimate in the specific quality of encounter sense, where something about how you were in that moment produced in them the direct experience of the full quality of what you actually are, rather than the impression of it from a comfortable distance. The moment was real. The shift it produced was real. And what it left in its wake was the specific, irreversible quality of someone who has now had direct experience of something and who cannot afterward pretend they have not had it. Inhale with me, Virgo, because the fourth card is the one that speaks most directly to the title of this reading and to what this person is specifically carrying about the moment they are imagining. This card shows two figures in the specific quality of genuine mutual recognition and genuine mutual presence, the quality of two people who are fully in the experience of what is between them with the brightness and the warmth of something real and undefended. This is the card of two people actually meeting in the specific, direct, fully present way of people who are not managing the encounter but genuinely inside it. What I am sensing in this card about what this person is imagining is something I want to name with both warmth and honesty. They are imagining what it would be like to actually be with you. Not in the abstract, not in the general sense of being in a relationship, in the specific bodily, in the moment sense of being in your direct presence and having that presence be, in the way of the card's imagery, fully mutual. The kiss in the title is a specific, vivid, recurring image for them. The moment of physical contact, that would be the specific, concrete expression of everything that has been building in the interior. I also want to speak to something about why this particular image, the first kiss, has the quality the title assigns to it. The first kiss is the specific moment where the interior becomes exterior, where what has been carried privately crosses into the shared space between two people in a form that is unambiguous and irreversible. The specific quality of that crossing of the private becoming mutual in the most direct possible way is what this person has been imagining. not because they are primarily focused on the physical dimension, though that is genuinely present. Because the kiss represents the specific, complete, nothing is managed anymore version of what they feel finally arriving at its natural expression. I want to address something about the sweet and soft dimension of how the title describes you, because I think it names something that deserves explicit acknowledgement rather than being passed over as decoration. You carry a specific quality of genuine softness that coexists with your depth and your precision and your considerable capability, not the performed softness of someone who has decided to be gentle as a social strategy. The actual from the interior quality of someone who genuinely cares about the people and things they interact with, who brings a quality of warmth to what they attend to that is simply part of how they are. That softness is unusual in the specific combination it makes with everything else you are. Most people who have your quality of precision and your quality of depth do not also have that particular warmth. The combination of all three things is what produces the specific quality that has gotten into this person's system in the way this reading describes. The sweet and the soft are not vulnerabilities. They are part of what makes you memorable in the specific way that genuinely memorable people are memorable, which is not through being impressive, but through being actually fully, warmly present in a way that leaves something in the experience of everyone who encounters you. That something is what this person cannot stop feeling the effects of. I also want to speak to something about the specific mechanism by which the sweet and the soft, combined with everything else you are, produces the drug-like quality the reading is describing. Drugs, in the pharmacological sense, work because they bind to specific receptors in the body that were there before the drug arrived. They fit something. They complete something that was waiting to be completed. When a person encounters something in another human being that fits their specific, particular, deeply personal version of what they have been looking for, the experience is similar in its structure. There is the specific quality of fit, of something landing in a place that was shaped for it, of encountering what has the quality of exactly right rather than the quality of pretty good. That fit quality is what produces the not recovering. You cannot unbind something that has bound to the right receptor. You can only be in the ongoing presence of something that has arrived exactly where it was supposed to arrive. The fifth card arrived in the position of what is going to happen, where this is heading, and I want to describe it with the full attention it deserves. This card shows a figure at the very beginning of a significant journey, fully equipped, oriented, about to move in the specific quality of someone who has made a complete internal decision and who is now facing the threshold between intention and action. The fire element of this suit is the element of initiative and of courage and of the specific quality of simply going rather than continuing to stand at the edge of going. What I am sensing this card is describing about where this is heading is something I want to name without hesitation. They are going to tell you, they are going to show you in whatever specific form it takes, whether that is a direct verbal expression of what they have been carrying or an action that is less ambiguous than words. The internal threshold has been reached. The cycle of carrying this privately and imagining the moment of its expression and then not quite arriving at the actual expression is not going to continue indefinitely. The fire in this card does not wait when it has decided. it begins. And what this person is in the early stages of beginning, what the internal preparation is pointing toward, is the specific, direct, finally actually doing this act of expressing to you what they have been carrying. I also want to speak to the specific quality of how fire tends to express attraction because I think it is relevant to what you should expect. Fire does not typically circle around what it wants. When the internal decision has been reached, the expression tends to be direct in a way that leaves little ambiguity about what is being expressed. What is coming toward you is not going to be subtle or deniable or easily interpreted as something other than what it is. It is going to be clear, and the clarity is going to produce in you a very specific quality of knowing exactly where you stand. Before I close, I want to say something about the title of this reading and the specific promise it contains, that they will never recover from the first kiss, because I think it deserves honest attention rather than being treated as hyperbole. The not recovering is not about damage. It is about the specific quality of irreversibility that belongs to genuine first contact with something real. When someone has been carrying a wanting with the intensity and the duration that this person has been carrying it, and that wanting finally arrives at its specific, physical, unambiguous expression, what happens in the aftermath is not a return to the prior state. The prior state was characterized by the wanting being imagined. The after state is characterized by the wanting having been experienced. And those are different states, not only emotionally, but in the specific cellular, bodily way of someone whose nervous system has now had the direct experience of the thing rather than the imagined experience of the thing. You are, in the way this reading has been describing, the kind of person whose actual presence exceeds the imagined presence in every relevant dimension. The actual encounter tends to be more vivid, more complete, more genuinely itself than the most accurate imagining of it. And when someone with the quality of intensity this person has been carrying finally has the actual direct embodied experience of what they have been imagining, the quality of what they are now carrying is genuinely different from what it was before. Not heavier, not lighter, more specific, more real, more of the actual thing and less of the imagined thing. That is what they will not recover from. Not because the kiss will break them, because it will complete something in them that has been in the process of being completed for a long time. And completion of that particular kind does not unhappen. If this reading landed somewhere specific and real for you, if the description of someone's desire for you having reached this particular quality of intensity resonates with something you have been sensing in someone's energy toward you, please share it with a Virgo who might be sensing the same thing and who needs to hear it confirmed. And leave a comment. I want to hear who this reading brought to the surface for you and what the quality of their presence has been doing in your own awareness. I read every single comment and I hold what is shared in this space with genuine care long after this video ends. Until next time, Virgo, you are sweet, you are soft, and apparently you are a drug. Someone is going to tell you this directly, and when they do, the telling is going to be the very beginning of something that neither of you is going to recover from. In the best possible way,